most beautiful thing about sex or about life is when you're in this dance together and nobody's leading. Something's leading by itself. I will call that transpersonal, because when that comes in sex, so I was reading Diana Richardson. We actually went and studied with her and Michael in Switzerland. They do a week-long making love workshop. And I had read in one of her books, oh, the bodies, after a period of time, the bodies start making love by themselves. I was like, oh my God, that's happened to us. And most people have not had that experience where you let go so completely that the bodies they won't stop. They start making love forever and they don't want to stop. When the bodies are free of their the conditioning and the way the bodies have been told to be, and when we're able to let go of all that pain we have about we don't have the right body. Oh my God, I've got cellulite. Oh my God, my dick's too small. Oh my God, it's so awful. When you can heal yourself of all of that social conditioning and be in the presence of someone else who's healed of that, the bodies can start expressing themselves, making love all by themselves, and they do not want to stop. They won't let you stop. You want to go to sleep and you're like, we gotta keep making love. It's just amazing. It's a miraculous thing that we're not told that this is even a possibility. And some people discover it by accident, but it's available to all, but not in the way we're going around about having conventional sex. Conventional sex is about, we've been told, this was codified in the 70s by Masters and Johnson, that sex looks like this. We've all seen the graphs. It goes up and then you come and it comes down. And it's about 20 minutes if you're lucky. And reproductive sex actually worldwide lasts about 2.5 minutes. And that's obviously just the guy coming and nothing else happening. And I'm sorry, 3.5 minutes. Sorry, I give you the extra minute. An extra minute is important. And then, in the Western world, we're told
that's really good.
Yeah, it's a very good minute. So we're told this one model, and everybody's doing the same boring thing. I'm sorry, it gets so boring because it's like, we'll do our foreplay because we have to, because women need it, and then we get to come, and then the model of educated people now is she comes first and then he comes, and thank God at least she's got some attention on her. But doesn't this get boring? Foreplay, she comes, he comes, it's over, and then you're kind of like, what? Well, that was fine, but I started to find it really boring. Not that I wasn't, sometimes I wasn't sexual. Sometimes I would still be like, there's got to be more to this. And that model is presented as this is what it is. And the only thing you can do to make that more interesting is put on outfits or, do BDSM, which nothing wrong with those things. But I was like, what else? That's supposed to be it. And people are into that, great. But so there's other models. I just want to tell people those other models, which is you come up and then you don't have to stop, and you don't have to do a bunch of mantras and standing on your head and squeezing here and there to not come. You just don't. You want to say about that?
Yeah. First, I'll just say about my maleness. I'll say the same thing about that as I say about my icon, the icon that I currently have in front of you. I take it seriously. That doesn't mean I have to take it literally. So it's something I very much enjoy, but it's not my essence.
You're talking about your physical self?
I'm talking about my maleness, my gender.
Oh, okay.
The male gender, being a male. I take it seriously. I'm a male. I enjoy aspects of being a male, but I don't take it literally.
You're very good at
That's
it.
me. Yeah, I think But what Catherine was just talking about is something that comes, there seems to be some sort of imperative. You can argue whether or not it's biological for men to ejaculate. And although it's believed by most people that ejaculation and orgasm for males are the same thing, they're not. The laws of contiguity and spontaneity have made that impression on us, because things that happen in close proximity repeatedly, and especially if they're intense, get wired together in our nervous system. Well, the sensation you have before you ejaculate that tells you that you're going to is actually the beginning of an orgasm. And that can happen without ejaculation. And that's kind of key to the things we're talking about, because this experience of the bodies making love by themselves doesn't happen for a while. It seems to only happen after at least a couple of hours of continuous lovemaking, which doesn't happen in continuous sex, where the goal is pretty much to ejaculate after a certain amount of time, and maybe edging or taking a while or doing
We're
it
not talking
again.
about edging.
Not talking about edging. I've experienced everything from orgasmic waves, which I usually experience, big peaks and valleys, to complete total full body orgasms that feel exactly like ejaculating without ejaculating, and without losing any energy, inner desire, without losing an erection. So once those two things are separated, then it's possible to enter into these areas where some of these phenomena occur.
And you do that by relaxing, because most Taoist techniques and so forth are about tensing so you don't orgasm, squeezing the penis, pressing on the perineum, some sort of effort. And what you discovered was,
well, that's an intervention at the point that it's kind of too late. You're down the slide by that point. And what I had read and discovered, what seems to work and what seemed to work intuitively, was relaxing, breathing deeply, maybe slowing down. But these things happen as a result of tension building up. If you think about it, we're breathing faster, breathing becomes shallow, the body tightens up around the abs and the glutes, the legs, and then something happens. So when you relax that, it staves it off a bit.
and you said specifically the stomach muscles, right?
Yeah, and that's what I read originally, saying the abdominals, but it seems to happen around the glutes too.
So all those areas we've learned to tense to come to an orgasm, we do the opposite, because if we orgasm, it's going to be over. So women's clitoral orgasms function in the same way that men's ejaculatory orgasms happen, which is after you have them, you're done. You don't really want to continue. And it often makes you cranky. There are other kinds of orgasms that women have and that men have that don't stop. Why would you want to stop making love if it's so great? So rather than this model where you go up and then it's over, you just go up and then you go up and down and up and down. But then the orgasms happen like this too. They're rippling, what I call orgasmic waves. They just come, they take you over, but they don't deplete you. They don't deplete you. You don't have to feel like stopping. If you can stop if you want. It's not that you can't. I mean, I don't want to make that body's take over like some sort of Chucky horror story or something. It's like you can stop if you want, but why would you want to when it's that good? So instead of this model where it goes up and it stops, people can be introduced to it. That's not the only model. This is the tyranny of Masters and Johnson and the Kinsey report, is that they told us that this is how sex is supposed to be. And then there's this other thing where it's like a woman can have or a man can have these ongoing orgasms that just ripple. They're not like this type of intense that's up and down, and you don't have to tense for it. In fact, these kinds of orgasms come through complete relaxation.